Hey, welcome to this video series. This is Dr. Barry Burns with Top Dog Trading, and today we're going to talk about day trading rules, specifically with regard to Fibonacci retracement levels. What are they? Okay, first thing is Fibonacci retracement levels are support resistance lines. And we are basically plotting levels on the chart after an impulse move to find how far the market will retrace before it continues in the direction of the trend. So let me show you exactly what I mean here using the E-minis. So here's an impulse move, and what we're looking for here, first thing is a major move in the market, a very significant move, and we're looking for a significant high that will stand out to anybody on the chart and a significant low. In other words, highs and lows that will visually stand out to pretty much anybody looking at the chart. That's the basic rule, okay? Now, after we get the impulse move, the question is, and the rule that we're going to apply is, if we want to trade in the direction of this trend, now we have a retracement, and it retraces. Okay, we can see in hindsight it went this far, but if we're trading in real time, we don't have that benefit. We want to know, well, is the market going to retrace maybe just this far and then go down? Or maybe it'll go up this high and then come down. How would we determine that the market will only retrace this much? In other words, this would then be a great entry point to then take a short in the direction of this original trend. And that's the question we're answering with today's day trading rule on Fibonacci. All right, so first of all, let's look at what these Fibonacci numbers are. Let's bring those up so that you can have them on your chart. So here are the numbers that I use, and we're going to specifically look at these. Remember, this is a percentage of how much the market retraces back toward the initial impulse move where it started. So we've got 0%, it doesn't retrace at all, 23.6, 38.2, 50, 61.8, 76.4, and 100. So those are the numbers that we're using. You can write those down if you need to, import them into your own charting platform, and I'll show you what it looks like here in just a moment. So we go up here to our Fibonacci retracement drawing tool. We start here, that's the beginning of our impulse move. We bring it down to the bottom, and now you can see these numbers draw on the chart. So this is where we started from. If the market goes down here and it doesn't retrace at all, how much is it retracing? 0%. If it goes all the way back to where we started, it retraces 100% of the move. So then we have these ones in between, 23.6, 38.2, 50, halfway, 61.8, and 76.4. So as you can see, now we're just going to be using this tool from this point on. Now, here's the tricky part that a lot of people don't talk about with Fibonacci retracements for day trading. And by the way, this works for swing trading, it works for E-minis, stocks, forex, whatever. So we come to our first Fibonacci retracement, and these are support resistance levels, is essentially what they are. The reason that I'm doing this video is because I did another video on invisible support resistance levels where I talked about floor trader pivots, and I talked about mid pivots. And one of the people who watched the video put in a comment asking me if those were Fibonacci levels. And I said, no, they're not. Those are different. And I promised that I would do a video on Fibonacci. So here it is. But here's the big question. Here's the tricky part. So we have a resistance level right here, the 23.6% retracement of this impulse move, right? How would we determine whether that level is going to hold and the market will continue to go down from there, or if it'll break through? See, in this case, it breaks through. So that resistance level didn't work. This time, which one worked? Well, the 38.2 worked, right? That's where it went to. Whoops. It went to there, and then it continued on down. But it could have also gone to 50, or it could have gone to 61.8, or it could have gone to 76.4. Heck, could have gone all the way back to 100% or even above. So the big question, the tricky question here that very few people will answer for you is fine, everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people know how to draw these levels, but they don't tell you the secret. How to determine which one of these will be the final resistance level that will hold and then the market goes down back in the direction of the trend after that. Because, and that's so important, because that, my friends, that's going to be your entry point to go short. So let me show you how to do that. So now I've added the cycle indicator to the bottom of the chart, and this makes all the difference in the world. So as I said, Fibonacci levels, as well as some other levels like pivots and so forth, they give us price levels where we would look for potential highs and lows on the market. The other thing, though, is that a chart is a two-dimensional object. So yes, we have price over here in the y-axis, but then on the x-axis we have time. And that's it. That's what you got to work with on a chart, time and price. So we are looking for the confluence of time and price in order to find where and when the market is going to put in a high and then continue back in the direction of the trend. So the Fibonacci levels, they give us potential prices where the market could top out. But what we also need then is time, and that's where the cycle indicator comes in. So you'll see here, this is a topping of a cycle. The key element here is where it turns from green to red, right in there. And then we match that with the price level. So again, time and price, and that's what helps us determine that, all right, this is a good place to go ahead and re-enter the market and go short, and that's how we do it. Now, the price is pretty easy.